Well, happy Friday, everybody. Great being with you. I just had to share something with you. In my previous post, I talked about my son, Robert, and the fact that on Monday night this week, before school started, his sister Molly, who was in town, she lives several hours away, and she talked him into allowing her to cut his hair. And I couldn't believe he said yes, but he said yes. And it's something that would have just freaked me out. I'd have been too worried about what people would have thought of me and all that sort of stuff. And they had a blast and were laughing, and it didn't turn out exactly the way that Robert would have liked. And in the end, as a matter of fact, Molly said, Robert, I don't think it's a good idea that you let me do this, and never let me do this again to you. But in any event, Robbie didn't fret over it. He wasn't too concerned about it, went to bed that night, and I was more concerned than he was. And in fact, as he left for school on Tuesday, I was a little bit concerned for him because I know how mean kids can be and all of that, but he really took it in stride and did a great job. And you know, one of my favorite verses in all of Scripture is Romans 8:28, which says, "And in all things God works for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose." So this is, in all things God works for our good. And I think so often that I don't really live that out. And I oftentimes think about when things bad happen to me, well, you know, why did this happen to me? Rather than looking at it like Robert did, God, what do you have for me in this? And as a result, when Robert came home from school on Tuesday, he was in a great mood, and I asked him how everything went. And he said, "Oh, it went great, Dad." And he goes, "We got an assignment today in English where we had to write about the thing we learned about the most this summer." And he goes, "That's so easy for me." He goes, "I learned never to, or that I need to be a little bit slower to make decisions. I need to not jump into something too quickly, especially if someone is trying to persuade me to do that." And I thought, boy, what a great lesson. He's got it. He understands that even in the tough things, that God has something good for him. And I oftentimes I thought to myself how often I possibly have missed a blessing because I've been too concerned about stuff and I've been fretting about things, which has caused me to not be able to be looking for it. So hopefully you're blessed by that, and hope you have a great weekend. God bless. Bye-bye.